Obviously, I get death threats.
When you wrote Karmageddon, you were a doctor and got into music.
Yeah, I don't write music to attack anyone.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to call out what I feel needs to be said. This is what's going on in the world, and let's start a conversation about it.
We put these horrible words and meaning and hate and division into the conversation.
You can criticize a government, and that's separate to a people.
ICE is either good or ICE is either bad, you know, and it's like, it's not that.
The Rockefellers hijacked medicine in 1905, pumped out pharmaceutical knowledge. It was like, okay, this is just like a money game and profiteering. I'm just kind of winging it. I'm a bit of a nomad. I almost stayed in New York, but I had to go back and finish med school, which I did. It was myself and my music producer, Danny. If I put it out and no one hears it, I don't give a damn. It did pretty well, and that's kind of like opened my world up a bit, but also my mind and my heart. We're just experimenting.
Iyah May, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming all the way out from, I guess you came from Florida, then DC, but all the way out from Australia.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Yeah, how's the traveling been going?
Well, it's been cold. I came from my summer, and the jet lag is real, but it's good. It's fun. I'm just cruising around different cities and exploring the US.
Yeah, well, how long will you be in the United States?
About 5 weeks.
5 weeks. What's the whole plan?
I don't really have a plan yet. I'm just kind of winging it. I'm a bit of a nomad. I've got places that I really want to go to, like I'll go to Mexico for a little bit for a show I'm doing. I'll go to LA for some writing sessions with my producers coming over from Sydney, Danny, and we'll just see what happens in between.
Where in Mexico are you going?
Oh, is it Puerto Verde, maybe?
Puerto Vallarta.
I've never been.
Okay, that's probably, it's beautiful there.
Is it?
Yeah, Mexico is, if you ever have time, it's one of those countries, like one of my favorite places in the world is Mexico City. Okay. Yeah, it's just an incredible city. People get nervous about Mexico. Yeah. But, I mean, it has a ton of culture, amazing archaeological sites, like pyramids. The third and fourth largest pyramid in the world are in Mexico. Pyramid of the Sun, Pyramid of the Moon. Oh, wow. And it's about 2 hours north of Mexico City. But you can see so much. I think last year I was in, obviously, Tijuana, Mexico City, Cancun, Isla Blanca, Puerto Vallarta, and Cabo. Cool. All at different times. That's amazing. I love Mexico. And the food would be I can't wait to eat all the food. Yeah, he's got to watch those tacos because really? It's easy to eat a lot of them. Oh, yeah. They're so much better. So, you have such an interesting story, and I want to learn more about it. I mean, I just saw it from more of a surface level of, okay, you were a doctor and got into music and doing some really interesting, cool things, almost like protest music in a way, but it's I feel like it's needed. I have a lot of friends in the music industry, and, they're signed, many of them are signed, and they can't, sing about those things. I don't think their labels would allow that, but you do. But how did you, first of all, get started, as a medical doctor? Did you always want to be a doctor growing up, or how did that turn out? Not really. I wanted to be a vet. I love animals a lot. Mm-hmm. And I loved music as a teenager, but I never really sang. I kind of kept that to myself and hid it from everyone for whatever reason. But I always played in like the bands and jazz bands and stuff like that. And I guess being from a family, it was a single parent family, and mum always encouraged me to study and do academics. And I loved science and chemistry and all that stuff. But I just got to the end of my high school and I think being a doctor would be a cool job. It would be rewarding. And I think if I can give back to people through health, that's cool. Because I've always been interested in how, what you eat can affect your body. Mm-hmm. And then music kind of just came out randomly throughout that journey. Yeah. So when did you finish medical school and start to be a doctor? Well, I started medical school when I was 17. So we start pretty young in Australia. And it was just before my last year, I finished my final exams. I decided to move to New York and do research, but mainly to move there to dabble in music. Mm-hmm. That was going to be like my side hustle. Mm-hmm. And it was just going to be cover songs and singing in bars and just allow myself to just express and find joy in that.
And it was that year and I was so poor. Like I lived in a lounge room and a curtain was my door, and like I got out alone, and I worked in a bar, and anyway. It was that year that I found this amazing vocal coach, Craig Derry, in New York, and he really took me in to this, under his wing, into this beautiful class of singers, rappers, and just really talented, amazing students of his. And I was just so inspired and so happy and grateful to be there that it just instilled this conviction in myself. And Craig always encouraged me to pursue something creatively. And I just thought, for the first time in my life, maybe I can have a job that's creative and earn money from that. Surely not. Like, that's not what I'm used to. And it just started from there. I just kept going with it.
Yeah, and so you went back to Australia after that, and did you start music immediately, or did you go into practice?
Yeah, so I almost stayed in New York, but I had to go back and finish med school, which I did. And then I started working as a doctor, but I was working on an album, just songs, and I hadn't put any music out, and just making my own songs. And I wasn't really sure what I was doing. I didn't have any idea. I literally Googled how to write a song on a bus to a party in Atlantic City. It was that. I started from the very beginnings, very fresh. And then I got signed to a label in Australia, like Universal, for a song that I wrote in Brisbane, Australia. And I started putting out that kind of music, and it just kind of evolved from there. Okay.
Were you a doctor during COVID?
I was.
Yeah. Yes. What was that like?
Oh, it was weird. There was just so many strange things that happened. I worked in ER, and I actually didn't really see many patients at all. I think people were scared to come into hospital. And I'm not saying this is like how it was for every hospital centre in Australia. I have heard that lots of places were busy, but the ones that I was at happened to have kind of no one there, and we just chilled as doctors. But there was lots of COVID testing, and there was lots of fear, and just, I guess, strange things in the medical industry too. If you spoke out, if you said certain things against certain agendas, you were penalised, and it was hush-hush, and there was a lot of judgment going around and bullying, so that was weird.
Yeah. I mean, Australia, out of all countries, was really stuck out to me at how strict they were. I mean, they basically had like isolation areas for people to stay if they had COVID and those type of things, right?
I mean, I don't know, because I was in the country when it was all happening, so it just seemed like this crazy, awful time for everyone. But I did hear that Australia was like particularly strict.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's like crazy videos coming out, and their lockdown laws were no joke. I mean, coming from the medical industry, I don't know if you know anything about my background, but I own a hospital. Got 16 full-time PhDs, 42 medical doctors that work for me.
That's so cool.
And so it's kind of like, it's my whole world too. And I would say our doctors are pretty open-minded because they know that I'm going to push back and talk shit. Cool. But I also appreciate their point of view too. It's not like, that they can have their views, but, we're going to have multiple views here. And I was shocked at really the slogans like trust science, because, science evolves. And what do you mean trust science? So you're talking about the science of 6 months ago, or you're talking about an evolving science? And if you don't trust science, you're an idiot, or you're you're anti-science, or if you question the COVID vaccines, you're anti-vax. And we also have a vaccine lab. So definitely I was an anti-vaxxer vaccine lab owner.
That's so interesting.
That's interesting, right?
Yeah.
But you think about that dynamic, and I mean, what was your thought process? Because you were a young doctor, being told what to think. Like, you have to think this way. You have to do this. You have to not go outside of the bounds. What was that experience like, actually being in that type of oppressive environment?
It was fine until it wasn't. And university is always, these are the vaccines, this is the policy, this is how we treat, this is what we do, this is by the book. So we're used to that. We're used to receiving that kind of information. But COVID was the first time where it was like, I questioned, I thought, is this actually right, what they're telling us to do? And why aren't we allowed to speak about it much? And what's going on there? My intuition started going off, like red flagging. And I was all for it. Like, COVID vaccines, why would the my naive brain thought, why would the World Health Organization lie to us? And why wouldn't they give us the right things to treat patients? And now I remember being like to one of my best mates, I was like to her, and she's another doctor. I said, oh, what about ivermectin? Have you heard about those studies in Japan and this and this and this? And she's like, no. That's like conspiracy. So I was like, but wait, who told you that? And why are we thinking this way? And I think it was that process that started making me question stuff like, who's funding this? Where's this coming from? And that's when I started to be like, oh, hang on a minute. This is weird.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned ivermectin. We ran one of the first pilot studies on ivermectin preventatively.
Oh, really?
And of the staff that took ivermectin, nobody got COVID. Of the staff that didn't, 56% got COVID.
Yeah, so
in the period. And it wasn't even controversial. For like the first year, I think it was in September 2020, the first year it wasn't that controversial. It was like, this is just a thing. And then it started getting more controversial because they can't have a treatment in America. You couldn't have a treatment and have something on emergency use authorization. And so Joe Rogan took ivermectin in around July of 2021, I think it was. Maybe it was 2022. And that kind of changed everything. All of a sudden, it's a horse medication. And
yeah, they framed him in such a bad light.
Yeah, I mean, it was
the yellow filter and all that.
Rubbish. Oh yeah, that was epic.
That was comical. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've known Joe for, since I was 19, so I'm 40. Yeah, 25 years. Oh. And so watching, like, my friend go through, think about the pressure of, you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. At the time, it was a lot of pressure. CNN, the mainstream media, pharma, all attacking, and you had this guy, this regular dude. It's Joe Rogan, but he's a human being. And, I mean, he was standing up and fighting against, he's fighting for the truth.
I love him for that.
Yeah. It's pretty incredible. Did you watch his interview with Sanjay Gupta? Dr. Sanjay Gupta, he's a CNN medical analyst.
I don't think so.
Oh, it was so good. I mean, I remember I sat there and watched it in TJ, just listening to him tear Sanjay Gupta apart. And this is a I think a neuroscientist, or he's a medical doctor, but a neurologist or something. But I mean, hearing this doctor's arguments against, the different studies, and he didn't know about a lot of it. He was just completely like, what is that? What is that? Rogan asked him about natural immunity and asked him about, well, why would they call it a horse medication if I'm taking it prescribed from my doctor? And Sanjay's like, oh, well, that wasn't good. That wasn't great. He's like, but why? Is it a horse medication, or is it, am I taking a prescription medication? He shows him the prescription.
Yeah.
And, but that was the weird thought process that was going on between the mainstream medical doctors and scientists and, just people with common sense.
Yeah. Just curious people.
Did you ever speak out and get backlash from the COVID era?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really talk about this too much, but I lost my job.
Oh, wow.
Because I didn't agree with the mandates. In the end, I mean, I really thought hard about it, and I did my own research, and I talked to other doctors, other professionals, other biologists, people studying it, people looking at patients who had the vaccine and whatnot. And I was always for vaccines. And that's what we were taught in med school. And this was the first time where I thought, this doesn't feel right for me. I'm going to make the decision to not take it. And then I lost my job.
Wow.
And, I mean, they said to me, if you don't get it, you can't work anymore.
Right.
I was like, well, I'm quitting. And it was hard. It was hard because I'm a young doctor. I hadn't been in the workforce that long. It's not like I had all this money, so I couldn't afford my rent anymore in Brisbane, in the city that I was living at, and I had to move back home to my mum's house in the little rainforest. And I'd pieced out for like a year. It's like, stuff this. I'm not going to be part of this bullshit. And so that was a big thing for me, and I think that inspired a lot of what I sing about now.
Yeah.
Just the integrity and just the unfairness of all that. Yeah, it made me angry and it made me upset.
Yeah, so what did your mom say when you spoke out and had to move back home?
Oh, she was really proud of me because I stuck by my guns and I put my what I believed in and my health and my intuition before a really big, scary system.
Yeah, so, absolutely. And I bet you're glad you didn't take the COVID vaccine now.
I'm so glad. I'm so proud of myself.
Yeah.
And I'm also really sad because so many people were deceived, and so many of my loved ones were deceived, and that just really grinds me. Yeah. It's not fair.
I mean, when I was looking at the data, I mean, it made sense 65 and up. You know, that was the group that was hit the hardest, or people with major pre-existing conditions.
Yeah.
But the idea that a healthy young person should take this vaccine was insane. It wasn't backed by science.
Yeah, and if Bill Gates is behind something, I'm so out.
Yeah.
So that was just screaming, like, what's going on?
Yeah. Speaking of Bill Gates, have you seen the Epstein file releases?
Yep. That's crazy.
It's just wild, right?
I'm not surprised.
No.
That guy is not for humanity.
No, he's definitely not. Have you been reading some of the emails and stuff coming out?
Not really. And we see enough of it online circulating. I don't feel like I want to, at the moment, read into that.
Yeah.
It's truly sad how much evil is going on in our world, and I hope that this can maybe make people think, oh, maybe we shouldn't trust the authorities so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just blindly trust the government. I mean, growing up in Australia, like, what do you see the big differences of, like, the Australian government and system versus the U.S.?
We just don't have that kind of savage mentality quite like that. Like, Democrats, Republicans, we're getting there, but it's very savage here. And I've seen people hate others for who they vote for. We just don't have it like that. We're more chill.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Yeah, the country is in many ways tearing itself apart. Our country.
Yeah.
But
it's crazy time.
Australia's isn't having any type of divide. It's pretty much kind of...
Oh, no, we have our own wars for sure. We're definitely divided, and we see so much of what America does anyway. And so controversial figures like Trump is going to be controversial in Australia as well.
I guess, what is the divide like in Australia right now? What do people debate about most?
Probably immigration. It's a pretty hot topic at the moment. Yeah, we obviously had the Bondi shooting. So stuff like that. And American politics really influences us a lot too.
Who's migrating right now to Australia?
We've just had an increase of immigration into our country with the Labor government. And some people are saying that that's good, bring them all in. Other people are saying it's affecting the housing crisis and stuff like that.
I see.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a version of the U.S.
Pretty much. We're just like a smaller version in a lot of ways.
You had mentioned that going through what you went through during COVID influenced your, going back into music and how you were writing. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I guess I just have become more passionate about speaking against injustices in the world. And I don't really consider myself a political artist because I don't really love politics that much. I never have. But I do hate injustices in the world, and I love people, and I love the environment and animals, and I want to be able to contribute to that. And I feel like giving people information that I think hope and think and believe is the truth to help them make their lives better is really rewarding. And that's the kind of reward that I want to have in my life that would make me feel like it's meaningful, it's purposeful, and when I'm on my deathbed, when I'm old, hopefully old, I'll look back and be proud of myself for that. And the fact that music has become an outlet for me in that sense is such a beautiful gift and a gift from God that I'm so thankful to be on that journey. And not all my music is like the songs that are currently out, but it will be, dabbling in that kind of stuff for as long as it feels right, and it just feels like the right path for me.
And so when you wrote Karmageddon, I think that was the first song that I had heard of yours. Kind of take us through that process, and were there people telling you that you shouldn't put it out? Like, how did that go?
Well, it was myself and my music producer Danny, and he's one of my best mates, and we're in a studio in Sydney, and I'm trying to remember, we wrote it in like not even that long, a couple days, and we just thought, let's just throw everything that's going on right now that we want to talk about into one song. And we had pages of ideas, like writing. So there's lots of stuff that didn't get included. And I wanted to make sure that every line hit and was a punch, but not in a way that it's like, this is what we have to do, this is right, this is left, like, hear me now, like, listen up. It's just like, oh, this is what's going on in the world, I think, and let's start a conversation about it, and let's be able to talk about it. And Karmageddon was meant to be like a conversation starter for people in this alternate pop song. And I didn't really think it would do much, so it was like a throwaway song for me. But that was fun because I thought, well, at least I'm saying what I believe in, and that's cool for me. There's integrity here and true inspiration here. So if I put it out and no one hears it, I don't give a damn. Like, this was cool for me. So that, yeah, like, funnily enough, it did pretty well. And that's kind of like opened my world up a bit, but also my mind and my heart, because I guess the more I'm in this journey, the more I want to be in it. But yeah, so it's just us two and me and Danny, and we're just experimenting.
I mean, speaking out about, this is, I guess, my experience speaking about certain things. I run into people that think they know how I think about things, though. I try to be pretty open-minded. I'm not like a super Trumper, but I could point out a lot of the good things he's doing, and I could point out the things that I don't agree with. Yeah. When I hear you, or when I see you write, I could see people jump into conclusions about that they know how you think or what you think. Would that be your experience?
For sure. People are always going to try to put artists and other people in boxes and say, oh, you're definitely a right-winger, you're definitely on the left. It's like, actually, I'm kind of like not part of any of that world. I'm just observing.
Right.
But that's the thing with all art. People will take it and use it for what they think and apply it to their own lives, and that's just how it's going to be. I know what I stand for, and I know what I believe in, and I'll just keep, doing that. So it doesn't really faze me so much. And
when Karmageddon came out, it was it went pretty viral, right? It did really well. Yeah. What was that like?
It was so busy because it was just myself and my music producer running the show, and which it is still now. But I have like more experience, a year's worth of experience, and I'm trying to bring other people into my team. But it was busy, and I just, oh my gosh, I was going to bed every day at like 3-4 a.m. because I was just trying to make content, post every day. Like, I run my own social media, and I met an amazing videographer. He's one of my good friends, and we started making content together, and it's just like this little small awesome team. And I didn't really know what I was doing, and I was doing interviews and podcasts and just figuring it out. But it was fun. I really loved that year of my life. Like, it was such a fun time, and it's given me so much experience and this like really sweet foundation to build off now. And that's where I think I'm going. I'm really building, and I'm heading in a direction that I love.
Yeah. I mean, and you were signed with Universal. What did Universal say about it?
Well, fortunately, I left that label before I released Karmageddon.
I see.
It's like all the stars aligned for this. It was the timing. I got dropped by my manager because he didn't like the lyrics in Karmageddon.
Oh, he didn't? How did that go?
That was intense. It actually worked in my favor in the end because it was a really cool story, and it gave me like drive to be like, no way, I'm doing what I want even more. Already I'm a rebellious spirit, but now I'm even more.
Right.
He just gave me an ultimatum, like, if you don't change these lyrics, then I'm not working with you anymore. I was like, well, guess we're not working together. But that was hard because I think it was like a few weeks out of the release, and I was doing it on my own, and it's hard without people like telling you what you should do and giving advice. Like, you don't necessarily need a manager, but good managers can be amazing. So, but it's just part of my story.
Yeah. And what about backlash? I mean, obviously you lost your manager, but other backlash? Did other backlash happen with that?
Yeah. Well, some stuff I can't really talk about at the moment because it's going on at the moment.
Sure.
But it's to do with my medical world and my artistry world, the lyrics that I've said. So that's been pretty stressful, and I'm dealing with that at the moment, navigating it. And also just friends becoming distant. I guess I just started speaking out against all the stuff, and obviously not everyone's going to agree, and apparently it's controversial. I don't think it is. I think it's just talking about the world that we live in.
Yeah.
So that was hard because I love my friends and I really value my relationships. It's a big part of who I am. So, it's hard just kind of letting it go. And like, I get all kinds of messages from fans, but actually it's been more overwhelmingly positive. Like, people email me and send me essays, and I actually go in and read a lot of them because I find it like really touching that people would firstly feel that they've been seen and heard just by what I'm saying, and they feel like that I'm a voice for them, which is a beautiful privilege and really awesome to see that maybe my music is having that kind of effect on others and in this world and around the world, like people from all kinds of different countries, not even that many in Australia, but yeah, so I guess I'm a pretty optimistic person, and I just see the beautiful things that happen in my life and the light and that, and I focus on that. Obviously, I get death threats and stuff online.
You get death threats?
Yeah.
That's wild. What do they say? Like, why should you die? Like, what's your argument?
It seems to mostly be because of the Israel lines that I sing about.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last song, what are some of the Israel lines that you say that are controversial?
On the chorus, I do say more than war, it's genocide, but, people can see genocides going on around the world. Yeah, I said kids are killed by Israel, which they were. And then that was Karmageddon. The last song, well, I said, Mr. Bibi, how do you sleep? Cleanse the country, kill the children. So, yeah. I mean, I'm not criticizing the people of Israel. I have Jewish friends and I adore them, and it's not to do with that. You can criticize a government, and that's separate to a people and a religion. So I was, honing in on the government and the violence that's going on.
Yeah, I mean, 2026, I say it's the year of two things can be true, because people love to put people like you and me in boxes of, this is how you think. And so you can criticize the Israeli government. I don't know your position on Hamas. I would say I can criticize the Israeli government. I can think Hamas is a terrible terrorist organization. And I can think that Israel is being extreme. I could also say that the average woman or gay person would never want to live in Palestine. They couldn't live in Palestine. And so, like, multiple things can be true. But we're being taught right now, and we're being told that we have to think a certain way. So I appreciate, the lyrics. And I think you're going to get some people that just hate Israel that really like your lyrics. You're going to get some people that support Israel, the Israeli government, to say you're an anti-Semite. And, singing on those issues is really courageous because it's almost like a no-win situation. Do you kind of feel that way?
Yeah. Other than that's right. And I don't support violence in any way. I don't care what country it's coming from, and I'm going to probably speak about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's true. Two belief systems can coexist.
Absolutely.
We're humans. We can think that way.
Yeah, we can absolutely think that way. I wish more people would, because I think we'd be less divided to be able to acknowledge there's different points of view.
Yeah.
And that we are, it's really hard. I mean, I was talking to my fiance about it this morning, and we're talking about an issue that was kind of contentious on Trump, and they want us to say ISIS is either good or ISIS is either bad, and it's like it's not that. Like, I can agree with part of what ISIS is doing. I can acknowledge, like, for instance, I don't know how much you follow this, but like the ICE officers in America are wearing masks, and I personally don't like that. Now, why are they wearing masks? You have to listen to why they say they're wearing masks. They're wearing masks because they're getting doxxed and their families are being threatened. Okay, that makes sense. I can understand why you're afraid. My position is, I think it's causing so much divide and fear, and you're a federal officer. Even with that potential blowback, you're making a choice to be in that position, and it's not what is best for the country. I can still see their side, though. So, like, that position right there, I don't know many people that have that position. To where you can see multiple different sides to it and be reasonable about it all. Say, I don't like this. I understand what you're doing. I still don't like it. I still don't think it's good for the country. I don't think you're a fascist. But we put these horrible words and meaning and hate and division into the conversation, and someone that thinks like I just said doesn't really have a place. And that's kind of what your songwriting reminds me of.
That's awesome. And I wonder why we don't have as many people seeing both sides and remaining curious. And words are definitely being weaponized, like fascists and conspiracy theorists, and, you know, they're just totally being used against us. I guess if we're divided, then we aren't as powerful because we're separate. And as long as we're fighting and as long as we hate each other, and the powers that be are winning, and they don't care who we hate, like as long as we hate each other.
Yeah, that does seem like, you know, the point. Are you familiar with Ron Paul?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so Ron Paul, a lot of what we're seeing now, the pushback against the banks and the government, and it comes from a person who ran for president in the United States named Ron Paul. And you should go back and listen to his 2008 presidential debates for the Republican Party. He was, you know, just standing up against the militarism and all, as a Republican, which he was like, they're like, "Are you on the right stage, sir?" And they were just trying to. I worked on his campaign in 2012 for president, and that was a whole other issue. But you know, Paul would say things that now are all, you know, are coming true. And he was they called him Dr. No when he was in Congress because he would vote no on anything that would expand the government, anything that would raise taxes or regulations, or and he would go against his own party constantly.
That's good though.
Oh, of course, yeah. But a lot of what we're seeing now, you know, was called a conspiracy theory, you know, 15 years ago, and I'll be damned if it isn't true.
Yeah.
What do you think about using the term conspiracy theory to define people that might have a thought process or an idea that's outside of the mainstream?
Oh, it's just totally a weapon to shut that down. And it's just putting people in this spooky woo-woo box so that they don't speak. And yeah, it's totally not in our favor. And it's silly just to say, "Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist."
Yeah.
It's like, hang on, why are they saying that? Let's remain curious. And actually, some of the stuff that my conspiracy theorist friends have said is coming true. It's like, why are we labeling? Why are we putting those heavy labels on people just to shutting down dialogue? Like, why are we judging straight away?
Yeah.
I think it's silly to say that.
It's pretty. Do people call you a conspiracy theorist too?
I haven't actually had that to my face yet, but I'm sure I have that online. Also, because I'm a doctor, you know, I'm saying some stuff that goes against that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, yeah, the stuff I can't really talk about. It's like to do with just being accused of spreading conspiracies as a doctor, just because of lyrics in my songs, which I think is ridiculous, because you can be a doctor and you can still be an artist, and they don't necessarily have to be the same thing. You're not giving medical advice in your song, but anyway, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, it's interesting, those labels. I think about like bias in science, and scientists, and I love my team, so I don't want what I say to come across like I'm attacking my team, because they're amazing. But and this isn't just my team, this is just science in general. I think they have a lot of bias. I think they have more bias, that they're some of the most biased people that I know. And I think that's because they're trained to not be biased, so they can't see their own bias. And we work, you know, during COVID, for instance, or what we see with a lot of the health stuff, you're talking about going against the mainstream healthcare system per se. You're going against some of the strongest biased people out there that aren't really going. They're not really looking at things objectively. I mean, it's very just the way they see it, and it's groupthink. And this whole consensus thing in science has been some of the worst terminology I've heard in a long time, because it basically attacks people that have a different point of view and puts them into the box of anti-science, anti-vax, or things like that. So I can imagine what you went through as a medical doctor, you know, going against the mainstream. It
has felt like a journey uphill, and I felt like an outcast many times, which is hard because I was very much not like that. I had so many, I mean, I probably still do, but I have lots of lots of a great social life and lots of medical doctor friends, and I was always part of the crew big time. And then all of a sudden I started singing out and speaking out, and that just doesn't go well with a lot of people. And the medical industry is huge and has a lot of power, and the people who go to universities are often the ones that are most conditioned. I was one of them. I was conditioned. And if you say anything against, I don't know, certain medications, I mean, big pharma in general or vaccines, you're just like the conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
It's like, how did we get here, guys? Isn't science meant to change? And aren't we meant to test that? And aren't we meant to be curious always? It's not dogmatic, you know. So, yeah, it's definitely an uphill journey, but it's worth it.
Yeah, what was the aha moment? Was it during COVID? Like, you know, I might have been fed a bunch of bullshit.
I think I started seeing it earlier than COVID because I was fresh doctor, working in hospitals, seeing, sadly, so many, and I'm not blaming doctors at all. Some of the doctors that I know are the most beautiful people that I've ever met. But seeing how patients are treated like numbers in a system, and no one is really getting to the root cause of the disease. We're kind of just treating the symptoms. That stuck out to me as a big problem, because I want to know, why don't we know the reasons for so many diseases? Why do we just say, oh, it's the body attacking itself and that's it? Like, we've come so far in science and medicine. Why can't we test how food affects you more? And look, why aren't we taught about nutrition in medical school? Why are we spending 6 months on friggin' pharmaceuticals? Yeah. They're important and they have a role. But what we eat, I think, is so much more important. It's like 99% of the problem. What we eat mentally, physically, spiritually. Why don't we focus on that? And then that stuff started making me think this system has been hijacked. And then I started to become more aware like that. And then COVID was like a slap in the face, like, wake up.
Yeah.
This is what's going on. And the more I learn about it, like how the Rockefellers hijacked medicine in 1905 and changed all the healing holistic centers to these universities that only pumped out pharmaceutical knowledge, I was like, okay, this is just like a money game and profiteering. Like, here we are, 100 years later.
Yeah. I mean, the idea that nutrition doesn't play the biggest role is kind of silly to me.
Me too. Yeah.
I mean, we look at they just flipped the food pyramid upside down in the U.S., which is pretty cool.
It's a nice start.
Yeah, it's a good start. Let's just flip it over completely, you know. But you know, the idea of that nutrition isn't the number one thing, and that you should take a pill for all of your problems. I try to take like no medication personally. I do like ozone. You know,
I do too. Yeah. I take supplements and sunlight and exercise and community, but I will stay the hell away from pharmaceuticals unless I'm nearly dead. Yeah. That's just my preference.
And vitamin D. I mean, vitamin D is so, it's underutilized as something that can, I mean, there's study after study that show it's neuroprotective, showing that, like the COVID death rates, I mean, one of the biggest determinants of that was the level of vitamin D in the patient's body.
Yep.
And it's shocking. I mean, whenever they told you don't go out, I don't know if they told you this in Australia. In the U.S., they said, don't go outside during COVID. Oh, you know, stay away from people, don't go outside. Did you not think that was the craziest damn thing ever?
Oh, 100%. If I'm sick, the first thing I do, if I can manage, is sit in the sun.
Yeah.
The light is so important, and I'm learning about that more and more. There's so much I don't know still. But I've been watching a lot of Dr. Jack Cruz and Dr. Alexis's videos about sun therapy and the dangers of blue light, and why the hospitals, why are we all sitting in beds eating trash food and under blue lights on screens? We're not out in the sunbeds, and, you know, obviously we don't have funding all the time for organic food and stuff, but why did that change? And, I mean, just growing up in general, we're told to avoid the sun and lather on sunscreen and always wear hats and sunglasses. And we do have, obviously, a hardcore, gnarly sun in Australia, but you be sensitive and you can go out in the mornings and the late afternoons and get sunlight. And the sun has not just vitamin D, but an array of just incredibly important immune-supporting components that we need and we just aren't getting in the modern day. And I stopped wearing sunscreen and stopped wearing sunglasses in the last year.
Oh, wow.
And sit out in the sun now. And I noticed that my energy levels are higher, I'm sick less, my nails are growing. And I find that fascinating because we were never taught that.
Yeah, vitamin D.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, I don't like sunscreen either. I'll wear it like if I'm completely pale and I'm going to be out in the sun, just because that initial burn gets so bad. But as soon as I get a reasonably good tan, I won't burn again, and I'm happy to not wear it.
That's right. And if you don't have the tan, sure, you are going to get burnt more easily. But if you take the time to build up that tan, then you have this natural resistance to the sun. So I discovered I could tan the last year as well.
Yeah. No, it's no joke. What do you think about what they teach you about exercise in medical school? Did you guys have any classes on it? And
yeah, it's just basic stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like, I can't even remember, but it's just basic. This is the standard, you should be doing 30 minutes of walking a day and not be too overweight. And it's just, that's about it.
Bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Talk about this new record you have coming out, or out.
Well, yeah, I have the last one I put out. It's called Good Citizen, and I wrote that one with Danny again. It's now in his studio in Sydney. Working on an album, so I'll be doing a bit of writing in LA end of this month as well. But yeah, the last song was just like a hard-hitting, similar thing to Karmageddon. It was just speaking out about stuff going on in the world, and it was fun. I like it. I like that song.
Yeah. I mean, when you put out songs like that, is it like a clump in your throat before it goes out? Like, here we go? Yeah,
a little bit. I did get a bit of anxiety and nerves just because you don't know how people are going to handle it. And it's sang quite a lot. But after a bit, after like a couple of days, it's like, okay, let's go. I'm excited now. Who cares what anyone thinks? This is fun. It's like part of the excitement.
Are you playing shows?
Yep. I'm meant to be doing a show in Mexico soon, and then I'll just start doing more and more live shows. I just want to kind of put my feelers out there and see where I can perform and connect with people in the US as well, for sure.
What about looking for labels? Are you like, I'm going to be independent, or do you think that you'd want to sign with somebody someday?
I am loving how the current independent path I'm doing. But, I'm so open if there's people. I just have to make sure that people are aligned with what I'm doing. Because I don't want to be signed to a label and then I can't sing about what I want to sing about.
Yeah, exactly.
Stuff that. Like, I'm not in that game. I'd rather be able to make what I want to make and sing what I want to sing and have a connection with fans. That's the most important thing. And fortunately, I've been able to work on that and have an awesome fan base. And they're engaged and supportive and encouraging. And, that will always be my favorite part of all this. But, yeah, I'm open. Like, if there's people who I feel are good people and are aligned and are on the same mission in some way, then I'll be like, cool, let's discuss stuff.
Let's do it. Is there any label that sticks out that would be like, oh, that would be a cool one to go to?
I don't know. Haven't even looked, to be honest. Yeah, not sure.
It'd be hard. I mean, I can only imagine. Like, I think about the major labels here in Nashville, and I guess throughout the world. And you write about Israel. Like, good luck getting a major record label. That said, being independent has a lot of benefits because you can say what you want to say, and your fan base is so much aligned with your. With the lyrics. And so they're probably a little more educated than, I don't say not educated the average fan, but educated on the topics that you're singing about than the average person. And they understand that it's important. A lot of people write music, but most of those people don't write important music. And, that's kind of what I get from your music. Like, oh, she's saying important things. She's being courageous. She's sticking her neck out. Like, whenever I heard that the Karmageddon song, for instance, I was like, oh, that's take some guts. Like, right on. And then, what is the last song? Forgive me, it's not these notes. What was the song?
Good Citizen.
What is it?
Good Citizen.
Yeah, Good Citizen. Yeah, that's another one. Where you're just like, screw it. I'm going to say what I want to say. And not really care if it ruffles feathers. And I thought you were very reasonable in it too. I mean, you're just making points, calling out the elephant in the room. God forbid you actually, speak the truth about what you think is going on in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't write music to attack anyone.
Yeah.
To marginalize anyone, really. I'm just trying to call out what I feel needs to be said. Yeah. It's not raging, it's expression, hopefully, for humanity and for truth.
Yeah, what's the next album you have coming out? What's that going to be like?
Well, I'm working on it. I don't know. I'm writing it.
Do you have a vision?
Not really. I'm just going with what feels right. I feel like my artist career is it's just all just so much uncertainty, which is fun. Mm-hmm. But I can't plan too far ahead. I go month by month. And sometimes the best stuff comes out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what I feel like writing at the time, and me and my producer. That's the best determinant. And sometimes it's just on the day. Like I don't really come to the studio prepared. I just go in there one day and I'm like, all right, what should we sing about? What should I write about today?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've all thought about it, premeditated on it throughout the year and through my life and my experiences.
Yeah. How long are you in Nashville for?
Well, I haven't booked my flight to the next city, so we'll see. Maybe a day or maybe a few. Depends what goes on. If there's cool stuff, I'll stay.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What are your goals?
Well, I'd love to be living off my music full time and continuing to write music that hopefully has a meaningful impact on people's lives. And I'm sure I'll be involved in health in some way, but health that's like preventative health, holistic, wellness, stuff like that. And I'm a big nomad, so I like to travel, and it'd be cool to live in the US, and it'd be cool to just travel around the world. So yeah, we'll see, that kind of thing.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you, and thanks for coming to Nashville and coming to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. It's been awesome.